If someone is jumping over something in this household, we say tally ho.
When he leapt over that bench before his untimely demise, he was carrying like a spear, and I fully expected that spear to impale him. And then when it wasn't, I was a little disappointed.
Hello, casual Confederate flag in the corner there.
Oh, gee,
Hi.
it's right there. Oh my.
As a millionaire, everyone wants to breed with him. You know how that goes, girls.
Push the button, Teddy. Push the button. Decapitate the nice lady, Teddy. Okay, looks like I am recording.
Terrific. All right.
Me. Pick a note, pick a note, pick a note.
Well then, shall we?
Yeah,
All right.
let's shall.
One, two, three. Tonight
Right. Oh,
on Murder She
good she
Wrote.
wrote. Oh, it's gonna
Hi,
be
I'm Victor Devon,
I'm petrified.
and we're here once again to watch a bonkers episode of Murder She Wrote from season one. This
Unhinged.
is this is ostensibly what, episode
Theoretically,
7.
5, 3, 4, something. I don't know. I'm
Did
just
we
going to see where
decide?
they appear in my streaming service.
I know. Did we decide we're counting Murder of Sherlock Holmes as 1 and 2?
I think so.
Because they were two different episodes.
We're two different episodes.
Okay.
We need to get to a season that doesn't have any of this
I
shenanigan
know.
pilot
I
business
know.
because it's screwing us up. We'll just
So,
pretend it's a dog's what is it called again?
A Dog's Life.
Dog's life.
So, 2 episodes of Murder of Sherlock Holmes. The third was Deadly Lady with the boat. The fourth, Birds of a Feather with the
Oh.
drag club.
Mm-hmm.
The fifth with Hooray for Homicide, where Jessica goes to Hollywood.
Hooray!
And now, wait, did I get that right? Two, three,
Oh,
four,
yeah.
five. Now 6. It's a Dog's Life.
Yeah.
So why on earth does Peacock say 7? I don't know. You know what? I'm not getting involved.
Hmm. Prime says 5, so I'm going by
Oh, well, there you go. There you go.
5. And we like
IMDb says 4, but
prime
th
numbers.
this is a great one. For one thing, for theatrical fans, for people who enjoy legacy actors.
Oh yeah.
We
Chock
got Dean Jones from Company.
Dean Jones. What a throwback, right? He has a
Um,
lot of like film work, but obviously Company very
yeah,
famous for. Um Lynn
we also
Redgrave.
have
Oh my
Lynn
gosh, what a
Redgrave.
heavy
What a
hit
f You know, Angela Lansbury made that call. You
she
know.
had things to do. Me and Lynn here. Um and then great cast. Episode goes off the rails. Okay, so we're at a horse. It's a fox hunt, right?
The
We're
Fox Hunt. It's
out
the
at a
opening of
fox hunt.
MAME. Yes.
Mhm. Somewhere in Virginia, I believe. All the guys are wearing red coats. All the women are wearing black coats. They're all gonna go out riding horses. Um,
This is
it's
quite a
wild to see them
shindig.
all wearing these clothes, by the way. I feel like I'm watching Pride and Prejudice or something.
Also it I know because I don't know, for some reason it just looks a little racist. It just looks a little like plantation-y, and
It does.
that's a little
Oh, I didn't want to say
uncomfortable.
it, but that's exactly what it
No,
was.
let's say it.
Yeah,
Let's dive right in.
let's call it out.
Um,
We are meeting this very rich and generally, as usual, unpleasant family. Uh,
they hate each other
they really
like
do.
out the gate.
Let's see. We have Spencer. We have Trish. We have
Morgana.
Morgana. Are we watching? Is this DuckTales or something?
I mean,
Uh,
talk about someone who's naming his kids with a self-awareness. He's
truly.
like, okay, so this one is going to be the Fruit Loopy one, who this is going to be the total bitch. Like
Totally. Totally.
he somehow knew.
Trish. Trish
Trish.
is a bitch. Although Echo, the other daughter, Echo, wow, she may be my favorite because she's just absolutely.
She's the niece because she is Morgana's daughter,
That's right. That's
and
right.
she
And
is supposed to be like the weird, funky art one. who
Mhm.
shows absolutely no sign of that.
Yeah, not at all. All they do is make fun of her hair, which is strange because some of them ladies have much crazier hair than she.
It's just Marquis Post in Night Court. There's nothing particularly rambunctious about her hair.
Not at all. And so who's the patriarch of this very rich family? It's Denton, right? Denton.
Denton.
What a name.
I know. Again, this is the Langley family.
Langley.
Rich gentleman who is organizing this fox hunt. He seems to have a bit of a relationship with his horse tender. I don't really know.
Trainer,
Yeah,
steward. I don't know.
yeah. Who is
I don't
Abby,
know
who was
ride
played by
horses.
Lynn Redgrave. Yeah.
Um, yeah, I had a hard time grasping the relationships in the beginning of this episode. I know it's fairly simple and it's basically the same as every other episode with the patriarch.
I
But
mean, it's basically rich old guy is clearly in a thing with an employee, and the family doesn't like it because what if he changes his will?
oh, and here's the dog,
This is
Teddy.
Teddy.
Teddy, the star of the episode. It's a dog's life. Oh, Teddy.
Okay, she
Sweet.
is going to her horse with her martini glass. Trish
We love
is
her.
quickly painted as the absolute lush.
She also just threw that martini glass in the grass. One of those horses is going to step on it. It's going to be blood. It's going to be a mess.
It's gonna
Trish,
be a
how dare
mess. She's we're painting with very broad strokes.
you? Yeah, very.
We're letting you know, and she already has a bit of an altercation with
Totally.
Abby, our guest star protagonist, who knows Jessica
Cousin.
cousin. There we go.
Cousin with a different accent. So maybe
But
it's related to Jessica's British cousin,
yes,
right? I was thinking
this is the
about this the
beginning
whole
of that.
episode, like, well, how are they cousins?
It's coming together. Emma McGill, the first possible glimpse of. It's funny. I was listening to while I was cooking yesterday. I was in a mood, so I put on the Legends of Broadway Angela Lansbury album, and it got to like they go through Dear World, and it goes through Mame, and then it goes through Sweeney Todd, and I was like, Mrs. Lovett. She goes on, and my husband is listening, and he knows the show, but he was sort of it's like, and I was like, babe, this basically is Emma McGill. Like she just takes it a slight twist, but that's
True.
just the same voice.
It's just a little less insidious a character. Basically the
Yes.
same.
A little, yes. If Mrs. Lovett had scruples, I think that's
Right.
basically what.
She could be Emma McGill. So we
Uh,
started the fox hunt here, and I don't know if we mentioned, but in the beginning we saw a mysterious hand give this beautiful gray horse some kind of drugs. Gonna
mhm.
drug that horse up.
This silver gray, right?
Yeah.
That Jessica asked to ride, but Denton said no. He's the only one that is tame enough for. I'm the only one who should really be able to ride him.
Jessica,
Um,
always,
just barely missing.
yeah, just
So I guess the implication is that she knows Denton by way of Abby, but is there technically visiting Abby,
I think so.
right?
I don't even know if she really knows Denton or if she just met him this episode or prior to the plot of this
Okay.
episode. Uh-oh,
Okay, we're getting to one of the great lines of this episode
absolutely.
when that my husband and I quote on a regular basis. Denton's horse has gone wild, and we're going to have a moment. Give me just a second. Because it's spectacular.
It's quite a sequence, actually. The action.
And they're all looking suspicious.
What do they know? Oh,
Uh,
Teddy. Out.
Just tally ho. Tally
Raising
ho.
a spear in the air.
If someone is jumping over something in this household, we say tally ho. If somebody falls, we say living for the day, pussycat. That
So he when he leapt over that bench before his untimely demise, he was carrying like a spear, and I fully expected that spear to impale him. And then when it wasn't, I was a little disappointed.
no, he just falls.
Just
He
falls
just
and
falls.
breaks his bones.
I think what was is that just like a I thought it was like a riding crop.
That would have been a big, sharp riding crop.
Was it? Let me
Kind
see.
of
Let's
crop.
go back a little second. He had a baton or what do you call it? I don't know what you call that. Like a saber?
Yeah. When he was uh look at that
That's
thing.
just a stick. That's a riding stick.
That is
I
a
don't.
that looks like a sword.
I know. Well, maybe it's pointed so that
No.
it
He still
grab.
could have been impaled with it, and I would have
Yes,
been
he could
happy
have.
about it. But I guess
Missed out. He could have been impaled with it. Missed opportunities.
they they let me down.
Oh.
So anyway, Denton is dead.
Dan is dead.
Denton
Uh,
beat the
eight
bullet.
minutes in, and we have our
Wow.
murder. We have our death.
So satisfying. You know what? I love when the murder happens right away and we get into it because too many
Sometimes it
times,
takes
40
25,
minutes.
30 minutes. I know. I know. And this is a legit accident looking murder that
Yeah.
Jessica immediately says
I
something's
don't
not
know.
right.
Let's check the horse. Also,
Yeah.
that little lieutenant is cute. He is a
Mm.
cute cutie. Those sparkling eyes. Are you kidding? I'm gonna call him Cop Cute.
Petra has a thing for the lieutenant. Let me
I
see.
guess so. They have a few
Oh
interactions.
yeah, yeah. Yeah,
He's,
yeah.
he's,
He's
he's kind
handsome.
of
Very
adorable.
handsome. Very,
I
very
think without
handsome.
that ugly brown cop outfit on, he'd be a
I
cute.
know the cop outfits. We have to add some
Yeah,
fashion to them, please.
they do. Uh,
Also, interestingly enough, Jessica, who is obviously ready for riding, she has the outfit, is the only one not in red or black.
no,
She's this only one in this sensible beige tweed.
it's also chic as fuck. I mean, the
It is.
side around, she looks good. This
She
is
looks
her,
great.
this is the highlight of her looks in this episode by far.
I would like to give a massive shout out to the sheriff right here, aka Roger Miller, aka Alan Adale, the rooster from Walt Disney's Robin Hood.
No way. That's
Absolutely.
oh my God.
Absolutely.
I don't want to sing it because I don't want to get copyright, but
No,
ooh,
I understand. But do 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 do
that-
absolutely. Oodalally oodalally.
we all know that tune, BB.
I mean, and that soundtrack is a bop. Most of that
Yeah,
soundtrack is
sure
quite
is.
the bop. And while I had thought that he had appeared in multiple murder shorts, this is in fact the only one he was ever in, which means that there is somebody else who just happens to sound like him that I'm confusing him with.
He seems like there are actually a lot of repeat
Oh
actors
my, yes.
in this one.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we're talking about there's no drugs in the horse, so whatever it was worked out.
Well,
Well,
and Jessica's not, she says that there are some drugs that can't be traced and they're because they fade away too quick. So
right.
she's not even satisfied with that
Yeah.
possibility.
I find it's funny. She as far as we know, she does not know this man in any way. She has no idea who this horse is, and she right away she's like, must be murder.
Well, because her cousin was in love with him and she
No,
needs to make her feel better in some
she's gonna stay around.
capacity.
She's gonna comfort her for a few days. We know what happens in the next few days.
Abby Benton
Let's see
Freestone.
them together. What a powerhouse pair. All right.
Ah,
Okay. Can we talk about all of the bows? Okay, we're now at the reading of the will. The family's there. All of the women
at the
wear
bar.
ugly ass bows. Trish,
It's the South. That's what
bottoms
they,
up, Trish.
yeah.
Middle of episode.
I have never been to a reading of the will, but I've seen many of them in film and television.
Sure.
And for some reason, this must have been quite the beginning of this,
Sure.
where it's a video will,
Mhm.
and that
This
must have been
all the
quite a
time in pop
surprise.
culture.
But as someone who like grew up with like The Simpsons and Brewster's Millions and like that being like a regular trope,
Sure.
I was like, yeah, whatever. But this must have been like, oh, technology.
We're going to watch a video of a will
Speaking
reading.
from beyond the
Wow.
grave.
It is the future. Um, and the lawyer just showed up. What's the lawyer's name?
Marcus Boswell,
Marcus
as played
Oz.
by Dean Jones. Yes, yes, yes.
He's
Oh, and we
really
had a moment of Morgana, the one of the daughters, who had her first moment of premonition. She
yeah.
sees in her tea uh something wrong. She sees the Grim, basically.
Yeah.
Something's going on,
Yeah.
but nobody takes her seriously.
At one point, she's like, "Oh, he has a Gemini rising." I was like, "Oh no, Morgana is me." Oh no. If there's one character in this episode I relate to, shamefully, it's probably her. I love that
And she's
there's also like no batting around the bush here. Morgana is designed to be a kook in this episode.
yes,
She is named to be a kook. No one named Morgana is in their right mind in
yeah,
these TV shows. So thank you, writers, for making it very clear.
yeah. And I think also there are a number of folks interested in psychics and astrology and such in Murder She Wrote, which makes a lot of sense because
Hmm,
as I recall, the 80s were very into that in a very like neo-Victorian way. That
definitely.
was like there was like a reemergence of that in the late 70s. And this one definitely paints her as an idiot, basically.
Definitely.
And he says,
Definitely.
Morgana, you're not a bad woman. You just
Look
have
at
no
her hair,
common
I mean.
sense.
She's rocking Einstein hair. I think she's lost it.
It's a little Carol Kane.
So they're at the reading of the will, and good old Denton is essentially just not just reading the will, but reading his family for.
Reading,
He is so
well,
nasty to all of them. So I don't know that I have a lot of sympathy for him being dead because he seems like kind of a dick himself.
well, I mean, the idea is that all of the kids are simply awful.
Yeah,
And I guess this is of an era where he would have just kept them. Like, this is very like, for
totally.
reasons that are well known to them, they're not included in the will. And all of them are shocked.
Truly.
Oh, and we have also the security guard introduced in this scene,
Sure.
Barnes, as one
We
of
had
the staff.
a little model earlier with him opening the gate. We had a quick scene, and that was a good setup as well.
But it
Uh,
indicates that he's getting a little extra because he guards the paintings,
yeah,
which none of them are going to inherit.
yeah. I love that he points that out too. Like, you want those paintings? Well,
Guess what?
nope.
The whole shebang is going
$15 million.
to,
Trish drinks. Teddy the dog.
and a great wait.
Of all the dirty tricks, damn it, Boswell.
I may faint.
This is insane. Teddy's a dog.
Well done, Echo. Yes, Teddy is in fact a dog.
We
Well
didn't
done.
know.
We were really confused for a moment.
No, she's confused because all of her hair is on one side of her head. So
Yeah, that's so out there and kook and quirky.
our lawyer friend is telling us that the dog gets the money. Uh okay, the stipulations are uh the dog has to die of natural causes.
And they can't challenge the will.
Can't challenge the will. And then once he's gone, all the money goes to the ASPC,
Goes
right?
to the SPCA, which is the Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals.
Oh, boy, I did not get that right.
I believe it is a British thing. It is the British equivalent of the ASPCA.
There. Are we in Britain here? We're in Virginia.
I think it's Abby's influence. I think it's meant to illustrate that
They got
somewhere
a little
along the
connection going on.
lines, yeah,
Yeah.
I think somewhere along the, and that may even, they may have even said it. And
Mhm.
frankly, it was possibly such a throwaway where I did, even after the 15th watching of this, I
Mhm.
didn't get it. But that may have been how they met, is that he met her in England and brought her back.
Sure. Hot.
But yes, everybody else is straight up American here. So we are definitely in, we're below the Mason-Dixon line.
Mm. So Abby is pretty sure that there's been some foul play here. She thinks some funny shit is going on with these family members, and she's sort of throwing things here and there. Trish, being a bitch, is like, "You're out of here soon, bitch." Um,
To which she says, "You can't
Body-
fire me. My employer's a dog."
How does she get her paycheck? I wonder.
I all of this
Keep going.
corduroy. I love it. The
Morgana.
styling on Morgana,
She's doing it.
it's
She's doing it for me.
it's so great. It's so
Morgana.
great.
Morgana.
Morgana.
Okay.
All right. Something's wrong with the horse.
What happened?
Oh,
Oh, Teddy.
Teddy is going nuts all of a
You're
sudden.
violent.
How convenient. Suddenly,
This
there's in a position
very
to challenge the
well-behaved
will.
dog is all of a sudden going nuts, biting
Going
people.
after Spencer.
I know. Spencer's a tool, by the way.
Yeah. Yeah.
The only one of these family members I'm here for is Morgana.
Well, she's the nice one.
Here's the
Yeah,
nice.
she's kooky, but she means well. And she's actually she there's multiple times where she's like, maybe you should like watch yourself or take care of like be careful. Don't start stuff up.
Oh,
Um yeah. Yeah. No,
so they
it's all
found
too convenient.
too convenient. They found blood on the dog, meaning that someone got hurt, and then this other guy rushes in. Who is this guy?
He owns a farm a
Something
little while away.
I can't even think of his name because it was so dumb. It's like
Oh,
yeah.
it's it. Who is it?
I didn't even see him on the IMDb.
I think is it Isaiah Potts?
Potts.
Yeah,
Like Asa Potts or something.
who is another legacy actor. Folks may
Mhm.
recall him from Plan 9 from Outer Space.
Oh,
And he appears in multiple episodes of Murder, She Wrote as well. He did quite a lot of work in the 80s. He appeared in like Simon and Simon and Dallas and such. But
he's
he was
all
a
over this, but
yeah, that's so unsettling.
this man Pot,
So
yeah,
yeah, this is where we find out that he's a notorious liar.
yeah,
Okay.
and he'd been to jail, or did they reveal that later? Anyway, he's been to jail.
It is one of
Fired.
the elements of this show is that they do not believe in redemption
No,
unless they want to believe in redemption. Him
yeah,
being in jail is really
pretty
a non-factor,
yeah,
but
on
it's
issue.
not the worst thing that Jessica's ever said to indicate that someone shouldn't be trustworthy.
Mm.
Rob and I just watched an episode yesterday where she's like, there was a very suspicious character out there. He had a baseball cap on.
Oh dear.
Uh-huh.
Oh no.
And I think what it meant to be was like, oh, and this is what he looked like in case you see him. But it just left it at that. And we're like, oh,
That's a suspicious man in baseball cap. No, no. Okay, so they just got to the lawyer, our good lawyer friend. They got to his office, and turns out
Morgana has
Morgana was
left.
there. Yeah,
And
because
we don't know why.
I can't imagine why she would be at the lawyer's. But they're going to go in and find out.
And
Um,
he just got a call that his secretary told him that his broker is yet again calling. He really needs to make that call.
very important. Also, it is a jungle in this man's office, and there's no natural light. What is going on?
Oh, it's huge. Yeah, what is going
Why
on
are there
here?
so many plants in there and no windows? I know this has
I
nothing to do with the plot, but I don't trust a man who has all these plants and no windows.
and every wall is a bookcase. I wonder if this was just like a set, like this isn't actually a building, like a real location.
Or
And they just were like, why do we need windows?
one of those repurposed sets over and over again. Like this is a big ass lawyer, and he doesn't even have a window office. Tisk tisk. He really is in financial trouble. Okay, so everybody, the whole family is in cahoots to try to get the dog off the will so they can get their hands on that money. But our friend here, our lawyer friend, has decided, oh no, 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 it's pretty ironclad. Um,
He's gonna fight for
he's gonna,
Teddy.
he's gonna fight it. And this is
And
important later
he's
on too. This is an
yeah,
important detail.
he's well, I mean, it's his client, which makes sense. And
Sure.
he if he's gonna be on retainer for the rest of the dog's life, I suppose he's getting a pretty decent fee for that.
Pretty crazy.
Um,
Like, what does that actually look like? Is this something that happens in life? I know some people have left their money to their pets, but is there really a lawyer on retainer who then gets to figure out how to take care of the dog?
I think there would have to be.
Yeah,
If there has to be a custodian or something like that. There has to be someone who is in control because people also leave money to minors.
true, true.
So if you leave the estate to someone who's not yet capable of making financial decisions, I mean, I'm
Mm,
sure it's rare. Um, so he's finally taking his broker's call,
uh,
finally. And
yeah.
he's just, I'll send you a check soon. Uh-huh. Interesting. What does that have to do with all of this?
Oh, he's going to tell us. He says, never take any stock advice from Spencer Langley. Spencer the Tool.
Spencer the Tool.
It's apparently one of these investments did not work out very well.
So Spencer the Tool, Trish the Lush, Morgana the Kook.
Ooh, and it's a full moon tonight, baby.
Naturally.
Okay. This is this whole sequence, when you think about it, is so wild, and I can't wait to talk about it later. But we're in the security guard station, and Teddy the dog comes to the door. Howdy,
Which
dog.
also looks like a bedroom. Like
Sure
this
does.
does not
Like,
read.
like sconces on the wall in the security chambers.
I mean, I guess what this is just another how another room in the house.
Yeah.
I mean, I always think of like security guards in like a shed out back or
Yeah.
like in some other section. Ooh,
Look at the camera. Looks
a
like Trish's
stumbling figure
car and Trish's coat. Trish must be at
opens
the
the
door.
gate. Oh, oh,
Oh, she fell right in the middle of the gate.
right in the
As
middle of the gate. The head just in the way of a closing gate. That
Mhm.
can't be a good idea.
Oh, so we're gonna
And he's going, oh,
her
birds
bird.
twittering.
Birds twittering.
Birds.
Totally missed that detail, by the way, the first watch around. Totally missed it. Oh no. Oh no. The door's closing.
She's still lying down.
And
Is her
the
head still in
dog
the
is
way?
watching it on
Is
the
it coming?
camera.
Oh, oh, can Barnes get there in time? And nope.
Oh no. This is crazy. The implied decapitation of Trish. That's nuts. We
That
thought.
is rough for an episode of Murder She
It
Wrote. That is
sure is.
especially rough.
So that's two murders in how many minutes so far? Two murders in the first half of the episode. That's
24 minutes.
crazy.
Yeah,
That's pretty crazy. Is this the first episode with two murders as well?
I think it might be.
Yeah, this is a hard hitting.
Yeah, I think it might be. Uh,
Uh, Now people are
yeah,
showing up at the crime scene. We're dusting that
dusting,
room.
just dusting. Which again, it's not a fingerprint, but he's I don't know why. I mean, I guess okay, I guess if a gate closes on somebody's head, yes, you would dust the buttons, I suppose.
Sure.
I don't know. It
Well,
just
because
seems
the door closed and the security guard wasn't there. So who did it?
was it not on a like I always imagine like these gates have like timers though, so I guess he just opens and closes it manually the whole time.
I guess, or some sort of like there's a body in the way sensor. No, we have the technology to watch a video will, but not for that.
There's a body in the way sensor.
I don't know. I can't get out of my garage unless if I dare,
I know.
it's gonna pop open again because it said there's a body there. Um, and Jessica's always here. Why is Jessica at the scene of the crime yet again? Oh, I think she's probably staying there. Never mind.
She's
I
just
take it
staying at
back.
the house, but yes. Ah,
Of course, I understand the conceit of the show is that she's around, so she would be
you
there.
imagine all the murder she's not there
I'm
for.
just complaining a little bit. So
The
Echo's hair
curiosity is
looks
all
kind
the
of
other
cool.
family members are there. Hmm?
Yeah. Echo's hair looks kind of cute in the scene.
She's there in her silk pajamas.
Hmm. You know what? I'm actually convinced that Echo is a gay man.
Could be, could be.
And they're trying to figure out what's going on here. Um, Morgana had a vision. She said that she saw the ghost of her sister Trish rise at the call of the bird.
At
Uh,
the gate.
and she really Trish Morgana really believes this is like the first time she's ever been in touch with the spirit realm, like legitimately.
After years of trying.
After years of trying. She's a real Trelawney, this one.
She's like, finally, I see something and no one believes me.
Right.
Like nobody believed you the other times either.
What were you crying? Wolf, baby? And then, okay, so there's this guy, this neighbor guy. What is his point as a character? I feel he's
He is the
a little,
groundskeeper, I believe.
or has a nearby farm or something.
This guy here who just walked by, who just came by,
Yeah, the one in the car, the older gentleman.
he's the groundskeeper
Oh, he's
for
the
the Langleys. Yeah.
Okay. That makes more sense. I thought he was just a neighbor who's like, "Hey, I'm coming over because they're
No,
cops."
no, no, he was the same one. He was at the party. He was at the reading of the will. Is that hat that threw you off?
Sure. But a hat throws me off. But I'm wearing a ball cap, so I'm a shady person.
Meanwhile,
Oh
they
God.
picked up the body and they left her coat just hanging on the ground there.
I like that Sheriff Cutie is like, oh, can you fold this for me? I don't know how to fold a coat. Anything to get that coat in Jessica's hands.
And put it in this evidence, and you want to put it in this bag. Can you, a
She's
civilian, just get
she's
your
doing
hands all
all the
over it?
work for him. He's just sitting there with a goofy
As
smile, and
usual.
she is doing all the work. Um, one thing she said about the coat was that the seams were ripped, even though it's a new coat.
Yes. How embarrassing. Although Trish as a, lush sort of stumbling about, I could see that happening.
Kind of messy, yeah. That's why I like Trish. She's real.
She's,
I know Trish.
she's, we see ourselves
Her
in the
name is
Langley
Trish.
family.
Now she's talking to the guard, and it's impossible for anybody to have gotten in there except the dog.
Right. Oh, I think we've established this, is that Teddy pushed the button. I think they've said this already, haven't they?
If they hadn't, they're certainly implying it. Oh, we're talking more about the birds too, and uh, Morgana's vision. Oh, so she goes up to Morgana's room to see what it looks like out the window, and it's a perfect view of that gate.
Perfect view.
Trish lost her head. I can't get over
Yet again, yet
that she
again.
was decapitated by a closing gate. That's crazy. Um, that's okay.
Angela Lansbury goes, the English always run for the teapot. So she's
Totally.
sitting down.
Our dear lawyer friend, what the heck is his name? Oh, Boswell. Bob.
Boswell.
Yep. Um, I keep thinking Tom Bosley, and that's not right. That's 80. I'm getting
But for some
confused.
reason, so we need him to reach up and get the ice bucket because we need to see this nasty grease stain on the cuff of his pants because that's important. But why is the family lawyer going up for the ice bucket? Because the family wants drinks. Why is that his job in this moment?
Why is he here? Boswell, why are you here? Go home, Boswell. Um, also, I
He
just got
has nothing. He has
the
nothing
second
else.
he shows up with like grease on his pants, I'm like, okay, so are we supposed to try to guess who the killer is, or are you just like, you know what I mean? Like it feels a little as a clue, it's a little big, right?
It
And
is,
we
but we
know
don't know
what it
why
is,
there
but
would
we
be
don't know
grease.
why. Yeah. Let's just say there are some shenanigans here. And then he says, I had a flat tire and I had to replace my car about a half a mile down the road and I got grease on my pants.
It could happen. But also, he goes and he gets the ice. He gets like 3 cubes and then walks out. Like
What drink are they making?
this gigantic
Says I love
barrel.
a cocktail with 3 ice cubes in it. Okay.
So they're discussing the nature of training dogs. Could Abby or somebody who has this knowledge be able to explain how a dog would learn how to push a button?
Mhm.
And she says, yeah, you could train a dog, snapping your fingers, whistling, giving command, Teddy, good boy.
Mhm. Good boy. Push the button, Teddy. Push the button. Decapitate the nice lady, Teddy.
Or is it,
To push a button.
His repetition. You could train him to respond to a vocal command, Teddy, push, good boy. No, it's too risky. I mean, someone would have to turn
Teddy,
on
push, good boy.
Is there any other way? Well, any sort of
Ah.
sound, as long as the dog learned to recognize it. Snapping
So
fingers,
yeah, so
whistling.
Jessica thinks this must be the way.
Yeah.
Somebody must have gotten that dog to push the
Mhm.
button on purpose. Which, I mean, they never make at any point that maybe the dog just like walked on the console because he's a dog.
That's what I was thinking. Like how many gates could he have opened and closed in that time? Any.
Alarms going off.
Yeah.
Yeah. If he was a cat, now see, this is why it's a dog's life and not a cat's life. Because
Right.
that cat not only would have pushed all that buttons, it would have knocked over that security guard's coffee.
Exactly. And then taken a shit and not covered it.
And then Abby blows it. She comes rushing with her hands in her pockets, saying, my cousin's figured it all out. See?
When I'm feeling anxious and need to enter a room hurriedly, I always have my hands in my pockets too. But you know what? If you have a skirt with pockets, that's a real novelty. That's a cool thing. So I don't blame her. Maybe it's cold. Maybe her hands are cold.
It's also Jessica has a theory And the sheriff is like, I have no time for theories, but if you're going to say it, I'm not going into another room. Just tell it in front of everybody.
Mhm.
Thanks, Sheriff. Thanks. You're really like, yeah, let me give my theory in front of the room full of suspects. Terrific.
Here's the cute Twinkie little officer when you need him. He would have listened. He said, "Okay, let's go in here. Let's have some tea. You tell me what you think, Jessica." He's the
But
real
that's
in this episode.
but that's sheriff is taking the role of, the ornery cop who doesn't quite think that Jessica knows what she's talking about.
Yeah. It's
Couldn't
always
possibly.
it's always fun to see which archetype of sheriff or police officer they've chosen.
He's not nearly as rude as they could be.
No,
There are some that are quite awful.
he's pretty swayed eventually. Actually, he doesn't have much of a role in this episode. Usually she's more hand in hand with the local law enforcement, but she kind of subverts all of that in this one and does her own thing.
I saw her spirit. She rose off. And Jessica goes, yeah, you saw something.
Morgana, Morgana.
So somebody, Jessica's purporting, was in Trisha's coat and stumbled to the gate and laid down.
Yeah.
In the time that Barnes was not looking at the camera,
Hmm?
which apparently doesn't record, just
What is
noting,
that?
just noting that.
Okay, again,
Uh,
have the technology for a video will reading, so they could tape that, but they couldn't tape the fucking security footage. What is going on here? These
uh,
priorities are really backwards here.
the murderer must have then known that Barnes would have not been able to see them because that was taking a big chance on their part, but went back to the car, pulled out a probably dead, possibly unconscious Trish, and then put the coat back on her and shoved her back down in the same place for her decapitation.
Right. Okay, I love this theory, Jessica. Isn't that a lot to do in the time that it takes the guard to like leave his booth and go out to the gate?
Yeah. And what if the guard
Is that
hadn't?
like 30 seconds? Right. What if the guard was like, I'm not letting you in.
God, I hate that
Crazy
woman.
drunk. God, Trish, again?
A lot of things have to come in the same in place here. Yeah.
Well, so they found a little whistle, which is sort of what Jessica proposed, and oh no, guess
It
who?
has Abby's initials.
Wah, wah. Lynn is in trouble.
She is.
Lynn, Abby, Lynn. Oh, by the way, this is supposed to take place in Virginia, and that road does not run through Virginia. Highway 202. The thing,
Ah,
yeah. This is a very cute little scene opener.
talking to the dog.
Both both
Oh,
Abby and the dog are in jail. The dog is in jail.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
Not even like the pound, but like human jail. Why is the dog in human jail?
Also,
It's
like, what were they thinking he would do? I mean, maybe it's also to
right.
protect him from the family, to be
Fair.
fair.
Oh, good call. You're a smart one, Devon.
uh, I mean, Lynn Redgrave completely plays this straight. Like, she is
Does, yeah.
committed to this.
She's
And
a
this
good
is a
actor.
legendary, multi-major award-winning actress
Hmm.
who of the Redgrave and Richardson family dynasty. Um, mother of Natasha Richardson of Cabaret, right?
Yes, yes.
Yes.
And Miranda Richardson.
And Miranda Richardson.
Oh, who I love
Um,
so much.
so spectacular. I believe different fathers. Is that what they were half
That
siblings?
sounds right.
Miranda and
Though I don't know
and
for sure.
and then there's Jolie Richardson, who
Oh,
was in
I love Jolie
101
Richardson.
Dalmatians. It's
Right.
it's very reminiscent of like the Fishers and the Reynolds, the Debbie Reynolds, Eddie Fisher
Sure. Okay.
dynasties.
Okay.
Lots of marriages, lots of marriages.
Lot of
Um,
marriages.
and Vanessa Redgrave is still kicking.
Good for her. Oh, I
As
adore her too.
as the time of this recording,
Yeah.
Vanessa Redgrave is still. I don't know if she's actively working. I saw her in a movie about 2 years ago. She did like a semi-thriller horror, and she was like the matriarch of the family. She's
Okay.
again perfectly committed, perfectly
Great for
committed.
horror, actually.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Miranda Richardson, on the other hand, I just saw an Instagram post about. Do you remember that miniseries Merlin?
Yes.
Ever watch that? Oh, totally one of my favorites as a kid, and it just brought back
Where she
so
talked like this the entire time. I'm Queen Mab.
a queen, a queen.
Oh.
What's happening now? Oh, the cute.
Where were we? Sorry, we got distracted.
That's what I'm focused on. Jessica had the lawyer Boswell drop her off essentially where he's roughly half a mile from the house, where
Which
he.
he should have taken as a hint that he was
Such a
under
weird.
suspicion.
Also, this feels very coordinated. Like we're going to happen to be right where this all happened.
So she's looking for a bicycle clip.
Yeah,
We don't know why, but it may have something to do with that grease stain on his pair of pants.
this might. This might. Look at Echo
That
wearing another ugly
ugly
ass.
bow.
It's with the ugly bows. Oh, and this is that guy.
Oh, and that is Jessica's stand-in on that horse.
Uh,
Just
are
far
you
enough
saying that she
away.
is not an equestrian?
I'm saying that they're not going to risk their insurance in having Angela Lansbury on a horse for a few seconds of a murder she wrote. That's what I'm saying. People have been killed in this episode alone,
On horses.
being thrown from horses.
I actually really love the
Ah.
character. She's literally taking this all into her own hands. She has no help from law
Ooh,
enforcement.
she has found the cast that Potts said was covering his torn up arm from Teddy's bite
A
to
fake one.
prove that he isn't actually injured because he took it off.
Oh, and the oh no, Spencer found her. Spencer the tool.
Spencer's in on it.
Yep.
Potts and Spencer suddenly have a shotgun
This
pointed
is
at
wild. She's like
Jessica.
they're holding her hostage in a barn with a shotgun to her face.
So I know.
This
Shout
guy
out to
belongs
these
in jail.
skin tight pants as well.
Is he?
Oh yeah, all these skin tight pants on all of these riders, I gotta say.
I don't hate it. I don't hate
There's
it.
there's a reason that there's an equestrian fetish for folks out
Uh-huh.
there.
Uh-huh. I think mine started today. Now we,
You hope that cute cop
that's exactly what I did.
starts riding, so to speak. Ah, so Jessica says, "I know that you're lying, but I don't believe that you're to blame." So
Right.
that gets her out of being, I guess, killed.
I think she already knows. She already has her idea about who the killer is, right? I think she
Right.
said as much too.
But
Um, but Spencer and Asa are both guilty of fraud, that's for sure.
right, right.
Okay, now a quick scene shift to an inquest or something, right? Some sort of legal proceeding. It's not like it has to do with the will, but it has to do with the dog. I don't know what this is. I don't know legal. Um,
Yeah, it's
but
and yet the lawyer or the judge presiding did
mhm.
not know everything coming, which Jessica is now acting as a amicus curiae, excuse my Latin, which means friend of the court.
Yeah.
So she's not a lawyer, but she's essentially making a statement or a speech for legal
Like a
purposes.
testimony of sorts, or
Kind of. She's at
but
least
not.
putting forth theory
Yeah, yeah. In front of everybody, which
in
is where
front of
I wanted to
everybody.
happen. And if it were wrong, waste my time. Uh, but her cute cop friend has put he's gathered the button from the gate that would have decapitated Trish. And the dog's there, and she's going to test this whistle theory.
In front of all of the suspects and a few other folks who happen to be at, you know, we'll call it an inquest. We'll say that.
Cutie cop blew the whistle, and the dog barked, but we didn't hear
Can
it.
can we also just take? I mean, they don't get. I don't know if they get a close up, but Echo in this fabulous ruffle collar and Morgana
Oh,
in this
come on.
hat,
Yes, the hat Morgana
spectacular.
especially looks superiorly chic. I like that Morgana
So
is along for the ride.
so he blew the whistle through the loudspeaker outside of the room, and the dog did not reply because the frequency doesn't transfer through the
Through the
loudspeaker.
speakers.
So even if Abby did it, that wouldn't have been the method.
Yeah, so that whistle was a red herring.
The reddest.
crimson, baby. So what was it
Oh,
then?
hello, casual Confederate flag in the corner there.
Oh, gee,
Hi.
it's right there. Oh my, we're in Virginia.
Yeah.
I would say different times, but I don't know that it's really that.
No, it's in fact not different times.
Right.
This is also a very hastily, oh, that's a fabulous Morgana hat. Very hastily curated set because all of these portraits don't make sense where they are.
No. It's not galleries that they're literally haphazardly. This looks like
This looks like a set for the Salem witch trials. Like
it looks like some grandma's living room, and she has no sense of geometry. That's what it looks like. Um, okay, so what is she proposing now? Oh, uh, she, I don't even know. She says so much in this part. She essentially thinks that the dog was trained with
yeah,
something else rather than the whistle.
and
And
that it was related to the horse throwing
yeah.
our patriarch, who we've almost forgotten about at this point.
Mhm.
But they are two separate crimes by technically two separate people.
Right.
She purports that Trish was involved in the horse tampering
Yep.
to get her husband killed, but
Right.
Boswell put her up to it.
Yeah.
And then Trish had to be killed because she realized that Boswell didn't have her interests at heart because Teddy was the inheritor.
Yeah.
Playing her like a fiddle.
Oswell knew it, and Trish just gulped it down like one of those martinis,
And then tossed it onto the lawn.
and then lost her head. Uh,
Uh,
poor Trish.
Trish loses her head.
Boswell is really upset about this. He says, "This is crazy. This is crazy. Couldn't possibly."
But he must have been the one because he's the only one who would have seen the will in advance. So he knew in advance. Trish must have been furious. Yeah, right there. Greenville, Virginia says so on that flag back
Oh, there
there.
we go. Yep.
What just under the buzzer at 43 minutes. Confirmation.
Well done, set dressers.
Oh. I mean, yes, that was actually pretty decent. That was good set dressing considering everything else looks like a gymnasium. But yeah,
Okay, so Jessica just asked Boswell,
yes.
Boswell, if he has a
This,
bike, and of course he does. Okay, this is where I was a little lost because I don't know the purpose of a bicycle clip. I didn't realize that a bicycle
yeah.
is used to like roll up your pants so that you don't get them caught in the chain, right? That's the whole idea,
Yes.
I guess. Again, not a biker, uh,
Yeah.
but
I
I think
think
that must be
it's
common knowledge. So the idea is that, well, so we didn't really talk about this, but when he dropped her off, she looked at a few things, including his tire marks.
yes.
When
Very my cousin
Boswell
Vinny all of a
dropped her
sudden.
off. Yes, that's what I was thinking. Is
Yeah.
this where they got the idea? Tire tread here?
The
There's no new
defense is
idea.
wrong.
Pass the
And
tread.
this is a pretty substantial back and forth for an accusation scene.
Is It's a long accusation scene for sure. It should be over by now. Um, but essentially, Jessica's saying, your tires both had no tread on them, and if you had replaced with a spare, you
Right.
would notice the different tread. And I saw that when you drove away. And he's like,
Which again is beyond circumstantial,
yeah, oh,
but
absolutely.
altogether,
Okay, and now she's putting the button. Oh, and the bird call. That's the other
that's
thing
the
we
bird call.
overlooked. We thought, oh, just a bird, but in fact,
It
the
wasn't
bird
the whistle,
call
it was the
was
bird
a
call.
command to the dog.
To push the button. Oh, and this great moment right here, right here.
Oh, so good.
Why don't you feed him his treat? Just like you did when you trained him to help you to murder Trish.
I have to say, I also say that in this household quite often.
Drama.
Her eyes, too. She is
Yeah.
piercing through it, and he breaks down immediately.
I mean, of all the killers that we see in the series, I don't remember one that like breaks down crying like that. So
He's sobbing.
he's really sad. So
There,
essentially what we
there's
found out has happened is he persuaded Trish to drug Denton's horse so that he would die, and then Trish found out that
She was not an
he was
inheritor.
after the dog, and then we got to get rid of Trish, so he killed her by decapitating her. I'm just gonna say it again. It's crazy.
It is. It's what we call overkill. It's
Ah,
distinctly possible that she was already dead because we don't know
yeah, she could have
because he
been.
put her body down. She
Yeah.
was either drunk, drugged, unconscious in some capacity, or dead already. And Jessica says that that's a possibility, but we don't really explore it.
Well, and
It would have, yeah,
I think this is the first episode also where one of the killers is also then a victim.
yes,
Yeah.
right. Well, because very often,
Yeah.
uh, both are like the double crosser is
Yeah.
caught, and that happens in the final accusation scene. That
Sure.
happens a lot. That's also partially because there are only so many episodes that have multiple deaths, for one thing.
Hmm. And I'm into it.
So Teddy the Beagle is now going to stud because evidently, as a millionaire, everyone wants to breed with him. You know how that goes, girls.
Teddy. Get it, Teddy.
And we never see Abby again,
Never
but I
ever.
guess she's just
She
gonna
goes back to
hang
Kent,
out.
she says. She's moving back to Kent where she can get away from this despicable family of people. Um,
But she's gonna stay in the business, hopefully, and train horses and
see.
find herself another old rich guy who will who will fall in love with her.
Sure. Oh,
Ah,
that was another episode of Murder, She Wrote.
that was in fact.
You know, I thought about leaving my goods to my cat when I die, but I don't know what he would ever do with a bright blue Impreza. So
It's it as episodes go. This is another, I mean, as bonkers as this again reads a little Miss Marple, Agatha Christie,
sure, I think so too.
which are very frequently utterly bonkers.
Mhm.
Um,
I think some of these plot points are really a stretch, and I think they're sort of in place to make these frankly gruesome murders. Like the horse is one thing, but the decapitation, that's gruesome. So I think we have all of these convoluted clues and pieces to make that a little bit more palatable and more fun. But if you think about it, what this means is that our lawyer friend would have had to have significant time with that dog on his own to train that dog to specifically push one button with a bird call. So how much time has this lawyer been spending with this dog to begin with? Couldn't he have just offed Trish in another way, like crashed her car with her in it if she's a drunk? Like, wouldn't that have been a better tactic? What is with all of this subterfuge and theatricality?
well, it also
Makes
the
sense.
question also is how long had that will been in effect? Because he knew, because he was probably there to preside for the video will, because he was also his lawyer and all that. So if that was at least a year in the making, because Denton looks relatively the same in the
Yeah,
video as he does in his final moments,
yeah,
um, he spent time coming up with this because he knew eventually, no matter when, Teddy would be the inheritor.
yeah.
Somehow that's why he was having so many legal problems. He was spending up so much time training a dog that he
Exactly.
wasn't actually doing any other work.
He wasn't making any money. No billable hours here. It's so crazy.
But of course, the goal being that if Teddy is not removed from the will,
Hmm.
then he gets to keep having that money influx
Yeah.
as the lawyer doing basically nothing.
The consistent income. I get it.
Yeah, I mean, we all strive for that moment
It's
where
like
we can
loyalty.
just be in charge of a dog's finances.
Totally. Totally.
Looking back, because I hit record, hit rewind, you can tell that's a lady's hand,
I,
giving Sawdust the.
well, plus everybody at the party, all the men were wearing red and all the ladies were wearing black.
I gotta say also, that exposed hand though, that is a very suntanned or not white
Is,
person who
is
is handing.
Trish spending a lot of time in the tanning beds?
We see, let's see. This is another one where in the South, there are no black people in this episode.
Oh boy.
I mean, at least they're not like just the help,
I
as that
guess.
also
I
happens
guess.
frequently.
I guess
Um,
the blessing in disguise. But you're right, not a single in
Not a
Virginia.
single. This show is very white
Color.
in season one.
Yeah.
Very white.
Yeah.
Okay, that's Trisha's hand right there holding that martini glass. That is
Yep.
not the same skin tone as the person
Oh,
who
it's not at all.
So,
Oh.
but I mean, when they wrote this and filmed it and did all of that, they didn't expect people to be able to rewind.
Also, now that we're back in the beginning, is that Trish's husband? Is that the idea? He just disappeared.
Oh yeah, this guy
He played
was
no
hanging
role
out.
whatsoever. Sir, your
Oh,
wife was decapitated.
where have you
you?
been? Maybe just a lover? Anthony. His name is Anthony.
Yes, okay. We
Is
like
he
Anthony.
credited? Let me see.
Pretty handsome.
Yeah,
That's
very, very 80s styled with that hair too.
maybe you should.
Anthony, he is the last person credited. He does not have a last name given, but the only one of the Langley family that is given a different last name is Morgana, because it's implied that she married and then they had Echo.
Yep.
Everybody else is a Langley.
There you go.
Anthony.
The poor broke ass Langleys and rich Teddy the dog. Very satisfied.
Yeah. He has a string quartet at his hunting party.
I know. In the morning.
Yeah.
This is like breakfast.
Yeah.
It's gonna watch the whole episode again.
Well, because I'm curious. I was looking up. See, there we go. See, there's our groundskeeper. That we see at the very beginning. That may not be his official title,
We'll just call him that.
but
That was
that's
his
what.
name.
What is his name? Tom? No, Tom.
We'll say Tom.
Yeah,
Sure.
that's Tom.
It is Tom.
Forrest Tucker, who is also a bit of a legacy actor. He was in
Yeah.
F Troop.
I gotta see
The series F Troop.
Echo, what she's been in, because
Where has she been all these years? Echo, as he calls her.
she was in some Matlock episodes. Just one episode of Murder, She Wrote. Twilight Zone the movie. Okay.
Ooh.
Okay. And
What is
that's
Cherie Currie? You think
Cherie
that name
Currie.
it?
I think she didn't have
Cherie Currie?
No one can say that.
Cherie Currie. Cherie Currie.
Cherie Currie?
Oh my God, she was in The Runaways.
Yeah.
That's Cherie Currie from The Runaways with Joan Jett and Lita Ford.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's a rock star.
Well, that
That's why
explains the ennui.
Sorry, folks. We're just catching up. We're just barely catching up.
Her name is Cherie Currie.
That's so funny. I was like, I know that name. Why do I know that name? Because she's one of the founding members. And I want to say she recently got some headlines for some bullshit, if I want to say.
Tell me more.
Let me say. I want to.
Cherie Currie. Cherie Currie. Cherie Currie. Well,
It's a lot going on. There's a lot going on. Oh yeah, yeah. So yeah, she went up against puberty blockers and stuff for trans kids. Yeah.
okay.
So she got caught up in the groomer discussion. That's
Oh,
what's
girl.
going on. But
Girl.
then
Step away.
backtracked and yeah. So well, Echo. Well, YOLO is the echo to me.
Bye, girl.
Bye, girl. Stately
Well-
Langley Manor. What a pleasure
It's been fun.
it has.
Glad for Teddy.
Final thoughts? How do you feel? We're what, 6, 7 episodes in? How do we feel about the trajectory?
7 episodes in, something like that. I think the show is really developed its tone in the last 2 episodes. I think we kind of get what the sequence of events is going to regularly look like. We understand that Jessica will often be in danger. We understand that we have lots of characters every episode that really mean nothing and are just big red herrings the whole time. I like it. I think it's good. I don't think it's the best episode of Murder, She Wrote, and I think, like I said, some of those plot points are really convoluted when it seems like I don't know, Trish could have just gotten the axe a much gentler way, but I'm into it.
Yeah, it's a little mean, just a
Yeah,
touch.
a little bit.
The kids are a little mean, but in a similar way that we actually recognized in another episode recently. I think it was Birds of a Feather that we were like, that's a little mean.
Mm.
Or Hooray for Homicide, that's what it was. We were like, they're just a little mean. Uh, Next episode coming up is a great one. It's one of my favorites where Jessica gets a typist who's in love with her. It's a pretty great one.
Hot lesbian romance.
No, no, no. The typist is a young man.
Luger.
Yes, and it features friends Lois Nettleton and Peter Graves that we know from the Golden Girls continuum.
Yes.
So we'll have lots of references there as well.
I can't wait. And this one's back in Cabot Cove, right? We are going back to Cabot Cove for,
No, no, it's in Seattle. She's doing a lecture series.
and she
Yeah,
gets
we don't go back to Cabot Cove until episode 7-ish,
whatever
whichever.
number that is.
Which is another one with, of course, everyone's favorite Claude Akins. So
On a
I
waterbed.
believe his last, actually. I want to say it's his last one. It might be.
Oh yeah, because he's out pretty quick.
Yeah, he's replaced pretty quickly by Sheriff Tupper. For this one. Yeah.
Ready for that?
All right. Well, this has been a delight, folks. I don't know what you gleaned from this, but I feel put your trust in animals because your family and your lawyer cannot be trusted
I'm gonna take away from this. Don't hang around any electric gates.
ever,
Ever.
ever. Well, my name is Victor Devon,
I'm petrified.
and this was Tonight
Right. On
on
Murder,
Murder.
She Wrote. Bye-bye.
Tallyho!